This week saw a near meltdown of the Iowa caucuses, the end of President Trump's impeachment trial, and a deeply divisive State of the Union address. But what had tongues wagging in newsrooms across the country? Differing takes on the Super Bowl halftime show. Sunday's halftime show, featuring Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, started off as a straightforward song and dance extravaganza. But this full-throated expression of Latin pride was decidedly spicy, with suggestions of bondage, outfits that got skimpier by the moment, and a strip club-style pole dance. And for some, kids in glowing cages was a political message about immigration. Or maybe not. Reaction was swift and deeply divided, including the editorial board of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, which polled individual writers. One staffer felt the celebration of Latino culture was lost amid the show's lasciviousness. Another saw two powerful and fierce Latinas with full control of their bodies and careers. But the show left a third saddened that powerful women have to shake their moneymakers to get our attention. All right. I'm going to turn to Joanna Weiss first because I watched it as it was unfolding. I wasn't deeply offended. I was very impressed with how quickly they can pull together a production of that scale and so, in the middle of a football game. But I'm going to start with you.
All right. So, unless you are sitting down your 4-year-old and explaining to her what a pole dance is, I think a lot of that stuff's going to go right over a little kid's head. So I'm really not worried for the children. I'm also thinking, what happens on the football field? What kind of violence do we see? What kind of touchdown dances do we see? So the idea that, the halftime show is some sort of sacred place that we need to worry, I think I enjoyed the show. I was very impressed by J-Lo, who is 50 and who has got it on head to toe, and I think everyone was having a good time. I thought it was empowering.
Oh boy, okay.
Look, gyrating body parts have always been part of the halftime show. There's even been those oops moments where it gets even a little bit more than that. My problem with the halftime show, and I watched it, was that they were. Yeah, I did, and I'll admit it. But there were two different messages that they were trying to send, and I think that's where they collided with each other. So you're sitting there focusing on the various activities of the dancing, and then all of a sudden there are the cages, and it's like, okay, is that part of the dancing thing? Like, you lose the message. If you're going to do something about immigration, you're going to kind of take that heavy, heady road, then that's what it needs to be, and your music needs to be part of that, and your dancing needs to be more subdued. And I think that's where they went awry in that production.
Well, I mean, I thought you make the key point here, which is, have you ever seen the cheerleaders at an NFL game or at an NBA game? I mean, there's as much or more flesh and bumping and grinding going on. Now, I'm sorry, I won't try to do it. I don't want to ruin anyone's supper here. But, and certainly this was preferable to seeing Justin Timberlake thrash around the stage or U2 singing off key. But for people to be outraged by it, you ever watch a daytime soap opera? There's more explicit sexuality there on any given day than there was in the entire thing.
And the children could be watching that, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. I thought it was a good show. I mean, I didn't feel like it was aimed at me as an official old person, but I thought it was entertaining. The one thing that no one has mentioned is I really hope that this is not now the expectation for 50-year-old women as to what they have to do in terms of exercise and diet and everything else, because that just is, that must take her.
She's not a skinny mini. She's muscular. She's a big.
I mean,
big
that
girl.
must take her six hours a day of training.
Oh, I mean, I just want to do. There was some credible criticism. Wendy Murphy was concerned about it. It just, she has a reasonable voice on a lot of issues, and it's just like the expectations for young women. And you raised part of it. You have to look like that. You have to be able to put on one of those outfits. It's okay. I understand.
It's everywhere in the culture.
I know,
It's everywhere.
but it doesn't have to be at the Super Bowl.
You're right, but Adam Levine came out half naked
Yes, he
last
did,
year.
yeah.
Nobody knows who he is.
I
So
think
put
it's
the
the
kids in another
brand.
room.
It's the brand of those two performers, too. If you had Adele out there, she'd be wearing something different.
If it had been exactly that.